The Mississippi State Bulldogs step out of conference play as they host the UMASS Minutemen. We are here previewing, predicting, and breaking down this game between Mississippi State and UMASS. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips. He's Dave Shumate. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, SECUnfiltered.com. This segment brought to you by our friends over at RHOBACK. Go to RHOBACK.com. Use promo code SECU for 20% off your first purchase. That's RHOBACK.com. Promo code SECU to get 20% off today. The Mississippi State Bulldogs step out of conference play as they host the UMASS Minutemen in Starkville. We are here previewing, predicting, and breaking down this game. I am Chris Phillips, and helping me do so, my good friend Dave Shumate joins me once again. Shu, what's going on, man? Appreciate you taking the time and excited to break down this game with you.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a good one. I mean, you got the Minutemen coming off a big win against Wagner, 35-7 this week. Mississippi State coming in a little bit off the dump. They got to circle the wagons here. But, I mean, in all seriousness, CB, we talked a little bit off air. It's not going to end up being great for Jeff Lebby this year. Let's call it spade a spade. I mean, they're sitting at, 1-7 total. You're probably going to get 3-4 wins maybe. These are the kind of games you can't lose. People are going to let you be all right with you losing in Knoxville next week. They'll even be all right with Missouri with a healthy Brady Cook beating you. And I think as painful as it would be to lose another Egg Bowl, they know Ole Miss is better this year, and it is what it is. These are the games in your first year. If the program is going right, you don't lose. You can't lose to UMass and Toledo in the same year at home. Again, I don't think people are going to be fired up no matter what, but these are the games you circle that you're like, guys, we can't lose this. I know my players are not going to be that fired up about this. There's probably not going to be a lot of people at Davis-Wade Stadium, but we got to lock in and just get our guys just play simplified football where we do not go lose this game. It's almost the opposite of what he's had to been doing since the Texas game against Texas, Georgia, A&M, and Arkansas. Where it's like we've had to keep a strategy of how do we stay in this game. Now you got to go back to the drawing board a little bit and be like, let's keep it simplified. Let's don't turn the football over. Give them short fields. Let them score without their offense being on the field and give the game away. This is a game we're better than them. Let's just go do what we got to do, not turn the ball over, and again get to our our second win.
Yeah, to your point, Dave, I mean, you mentioned that Toledo game, which shame on you because I think that one probably still hurts a little bit for the state folks that are tuned in. But no, to your point, you can't lose this game. And I think if you're Mississippi State, you should be excited because I mean, think of how few games, Dave, you've been favored in this year. So I mean, hey, you have a game that you're approaching that you're supposed to win, and I mean, those have been few and far in between this year. This game, of course, taking place on Saturday, 3:15 Central Time kickoff on the SEC Network. This game in Starkville, Mississippi, at Davis-Wade Stadium. Mississippi State is a 18-point favorite. The over/under is set at 59 total points. Series history: these two teams have met twice. State has won them both, leading the series 2-0. Last meeting came in 2017. State won that game, Dave, by a final score 34-23. It was actually close back in 2017. As we dive into this game, Dave, again, we're not going to, overthink this thing or spend a bunch of time talking about this one. This is a game. It's all about Mississippi State. They should win this football game. Dave, funny enough, we've taught UMass one other time this season. They played Missouri a few weeks ago, and that was the weird game up there at McGurk Alumni Stadium up there in UMass. And they got blasted. I think the final score was like 49-3, what have you.
We'll get them again, baby. They got Georgia in a couple weeks.
Okay, so UMass is making the rounds in the SEC then. Good.
They're finishing out their league schedule.
Hey, listen, they are UMass is cashing in on some big-time checks this year, apparently. But, you look at this game again, it's all about the Mississippi State side of things, Dave. We understand that. My big question is this, and I was just talking to you about it off air. Coleman Hutzler, defensive coordinator. How does the defense respond here? You just gave up 600 yards of offense to Arkansas. And I understand that's a different beast, but kind of feels like a big closing stretch, Dave, of the season for Coleman Hutzler. I mean, I feel like defense is the thing that's really been their Achilles heel, and we talked about it. I mean, this is one of the reasons why we were so skeptical of Mississippi State coming into the season. First-time defensive coordinator in this league. Was it kind of a buddy hire? Was he really the best available? You go out there and you're getting sliced and diced against a UMass team. That seat, at least like internally, locally, we're not going to be talking about it from a conference-wide perspective or nationally, but that kind of feels like that seat might start to warm up a little bit for Coleman Hutzler if the defense is struggling against a UMass team.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mississippi State fans probably look at that 3-year deal worth over $1 million annually to Coleman Hutzler, and they're like, "Where do I sign up for that gig?" I mean, yeah, I think this is a total CAA, a Jimmy Sexton agency hire where it was Jeff Lebby. Hey, man, we got you the Mississippi State job. You're going to hire the defensive coordinator who won. Unfortunately, that happens more in college football than fans would even probably like to know. But yeah, you're right. This is a big one. You can't go. I mean, let's look at UMass real fast. I mean, not to go off a topic here. I just want to see what they've been putting on people, really. But anyway, either way, you can't be putting, 14 in a loss, 23-3, 20 in a loss, 20 points in a loss, 3 to Missouri. I mean, to a common opponent that Mississippi State would probably think on their same level to an extent. They only put up 3 points against a Missouri team. If they go put up over 20 points on you, if you're Mississippi State, there's a major issue. So, yeah, you're right. It starts with him. He's the guy that's under the magnifying glass this first season for Jeff Lebby, where I think a lot of fans are going to be sitting there being like, is this the guy we go make the change after the first year? It would make most sense. But you did give the guy a 3-year deal worth $1 million a year. So do you cut him loose after 2 years? I don't know. But you're right. This was the one that would probably be, even in a win, if they look bad defensively, this is one you're probably like, yeah, man, it's over. Like you gave up, because would you give up 41 to Toledo too?
Yeah, that was ugly. I think that game was like 28-3 at half, something like that. 28-0. Yeah. On the other side, Dave, Michael Van Buren, this Mississippi State offense, you feel like they should be able to have a lot of success, and it's going to be fun to continue to watch Michael Van Buren, his confidence grow. Dude, offensively, like I think Jeff Lebby's done a really good job. I like the group of weapons they have. With Kevin Coleman at the receiver position, Seydou Traore at tight end, Kelly Akari, who I know had kind of a quiet game last week, but he's a pretty good player. The running game has gotten going a bit. So this should be another pretty big offensive output for State here in Jeff Lebby.
Yeah, and I think Michael Van Buren's a guy they need to go rely on. Like I've said in a couple other previews, I think you never want anybody to get hurt, but the biggest blessing in disguise, I'm talking about Blake Shapen, is, hey, you've got Michael Van Buren, almost a season no one's really going to hold against you unless maybe you lose this game. But they're not going to hold it against you, and you get almost a whole season of Michael Van Buren under your belt where you can go into spring practice and throw more at him. You can bring more out of your playbook, what you want to call heading into 2025. I think if I'm Jeff Lebby, this Mississippi State program, I'm excited that I got a whole season under my belt before a big 2025 season. I mean, over the season, he's a 57% passer, 8 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So it hadn't been bad. I mean, I liked what I saw at times against A&M, Georgia, Texas, and even last week against Arkansas. I mean, I know he had two interceptions, but he was 71% passer, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But no, I think you can go build a lot off him from this season heading into the spring. So as much development, as many reps as he gets, you can only be excited about the future of Mississippi State's offense.
And Dave, you mentioned it with Mississippi State, what can really be accomplished in this season. Again, you can't lose this game to UMass, but it is the final non-conference showdown before your final stretch, in SEC play. You mentioned the games, against Mizzou, the Egg Bowl. What was the other
at Tennessee.
At Tennessee, right? That's right. That's next week. So at Tennessee, the Missouri game, and then the Egg Bowl. Listen, Dave, if you're going to spark any type of upset, it starts Saturday afternoon in a big win over UMass. That kind of goes out. You need to build up as much confidence as you possibly can, because to your point, you may not win another game. And State fans, by the way, get out to Davis Wade, because again, you may not see State win another game this season. Like that should be your motivation for getting out there. And I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound or anything. And I'm not trying to, I'm not saying anything people don't realize, but I mean, it's games like this that I think you need your home crowd, your home support behind you. Hey guys, it's been a tough year. We get that. This was a rebuild. It's year one. Let's come out. Let's have a good crowd. Let's, how many times have we had the opportunity, Dave, to go out to the ballpark and have a fun day? I mean, you only won one game, and that was the season opener, right? So Mississippi State, Dave, the overarching theme here is, for the first time in 7 weeks since game 1, you have an opportunity to feel good again.
Yeah.
That's it. You got an opportunity to feel good again. If you're the fan base, if you're Lebby, if you're the players, you got an opportunity to feel good again. So take advantage of it.
Yeah, no, you're not entering a Sunday heading back into that building with another L. You're right. Maybe it brings you some confidence. Probably not to go win in Knoxville, but you never know. I mean, if Missouri, Brady Cook's not healthy, they come into your house in 2 weeks. That's probably your next best shot to get a win. Because I don't think anybody had a harder road conference schedule than Mississippi State this year. What, at Georgia, at Texas, at Tennessee, and at Ole Miss.
Yeah, it's been a brutal 2024 slate for sure. Dave, that being said, let's go ahead and dive into our predictions for this game. Mississippi State, UMass, and non-conference play. I will start. I think this one, listen, Dave, I'll say this. I don't understand the spread in this one. 18 points. If Mississippi State doesn't beat UMass by more than 18, we got a problem. Like, we got a big problem. And I understand there's probably still a lot of skepticism around them, especially after the Arkansas game. And, there were a lot of us, listen, man, I took State +7. I thought for sure. I thought this could be a game that State could beat Arkansas. It seemed like they were kind of trending the right way. And, the Hogs just took it to them in that game over the weekend. So I know there's skepticism, and I know this is a team that lost to Toledo early in the year, but I got to be honest with you, Dave, I don't understand the line. I think Mississippi State offensively will have another big day. I don't think defensively, obviously, they're perfect. They're far from it. But I don't know that Taysun, I'm not even going to try to say his last name. Taysun.
The kid it used to be at Clemson.
But I don't, and I know he's a dual threat guy. I don't think he can do enough to keep UMass in this football game. I think Mississippi State wins this game, Dave, and I think they win it going away. I got State 48, UMass 17. I don't understand the line at all. I don't think it's a close game. Again, I think UMass finds the end zone a few times, but I just think Mississippi State, Michael Van Buren, Jeff Levy, what they're doing offensively, I think Mississippi State finally gets to feel good again for the first time since the season opener and gets a big win at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 48-20. Again, I think he's going to be flirting on the fringe of what you probably don't want to give up, like from a contextual standpoint of like, hey, UMass hadn't really been putting up a ton of points on many teams, even at your level. When Missouri gave up 3 points, I still think Mississippi State's very good on defense. I do like the future of their offense. I do think Jeff Levy knows, again, first year spreads matter. He knows if we can go put up a bunch of points against UMass, can be like, hey, man, the offense is to put up 31 against Georgia. We did what we were supposed to do against UMass. Have your hat to hang on heading into the offseason with Michael Van Buren. So I'm with you. The line's a little bit lower. I think Mississippi State covers. Give me Mississippi State 48-20.
To your point, Dave, you've mentioned many times, especially in those games against Texas, Georgia, where the spreads were massive, covering this. I mean, as silly as it may seem to some, covering the spreads
Perception is reality. Yeah.
So I think in this one, I think it's important you cover the spread yet again. I mean, you – especially after you got blown out by Arkansas. Like, bro, if you're not covering 18 against UMass, even if you win this game by 14 points, like you've mentioned, the Mississippi State guys at their favorite country club talking to their Ole Miss buddies, it ain't going to be a very fun conversation.
Both are a little down right now, but you're right. The Mississippi State guy, I mean, yeah, like you say, Chris, if it's a one-score, 10-point game heading into the fourth quarter, I think you got to be a little disappointed.
Yeah, I think you got to be very disappointed. So, guys, do you agree with us? Do you disagree? How do you see this playing out Saturday at Davis-Wade Stadium when Mississippi State and UMass do battle? Guys, it's going to do all for us. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Again, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. For Dave Shumate, I'm Chris Phillips. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, and we will catch you on the other side.